How did an 80-1 against outsider beat the odds-on favourite?
A series of circumstances. Rishi got into difficulties early this year with his tax problems and his wife's arrangements. That scuppered him for a period. Excuse me, he was on his way back, but I think he'd have preferred another 2 or 3 months before any leadership election so that he could re-establish himself. Equally, Liz Truss very cleverly came out with a financial package, which Rishi was saying, I'm the man in control, and suddenly he was confronted by a financial package which received a very positive response because there was perceived to be a need for action, a need for change.
It also speaks volumes to the other key thing, and you and I have talked about this in the past, and that is that the overwhelming support for Rishi Sunak initially came from the parliamentary party. The growing body of opinion that appears to have pushed it across the line for Liz is out in the country.
It isn't out in the country, and Con Home, as its polls throughout, although I'd question the way they do their polls, had always shown Liz Truss in the lead or pretty close to the lead. Rishi has an enormous amount of support, and it's why I think the polls have got it wrong in that I think they're overestimating her majority. I think she'll win. But if you talk to all the journalists and people from Conservative Central Office and the like, the hustings, the audiences at the hustings have been much more evenly divided, if not actually in favour of Rishi Sunak. So I just think the margin won't be as big as the polls are predicting.
Yeah, and as everybody always says in these matters, whether it's an election or whatever, is 50% plus one will do.
Absolutely.
But for her authority in the House and authority in the country, that margin does matter.
The margin matters, but her first actions, before she tackles the cost of living issues, will be to appoint a cabinet. And that cabinet must be her first step of reuniting the parliamentary party, particularly because you identified she's actually relatively weak in the parliamentary party.
Yes.
So it can't be all Truss's mates. And a lot of the discussions in the media have said, oh, it's going to be this supporter of hers in each of the different positions. I think that's improbable, and it would certainly be unwise.